Hi, good morning. Today we are going to start a part of new economic policy, that is your privatization. Before going to discuss about privatization, let me tell you that it is a part of new economic policy in 1991. As we know, new economic policy comes with three features, that is your LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. Among this, liberalization stands for relaxations of norms, and we are coming to that second part, that is your privatization. Privatization, when we talk about privatization, it is important for you to understand the main distinction between public sector and private sector. Before you understand the concept of privatization, for you, it is important you should know the meaning of public sector and also private sector. We can clearly know the meaning of public sector and private sector just from two lines. Public sector, when we are talking about public sector, simply three terms are there: ownership, management, and control by government. Here, ownership, management, and control by private bodies. Let me tell you once again, private sector is a sector where ownership, management, and control. You just refer, the three terms are very important for you. Ownership, management, and control by the government bodies is known as public sector. Ownership, management, and control by private individuals or private bodies is known as your private sector. So now it is easy for you to understand the process of privatization. Privatization is a process. Before that point, you should understand, right from independence after 1947, we have implemented three industrial policies. For example, 1948 industrial policy, then we have implemented 1956 industrial policy, then we have implemented 1977 in industrial policy. Among all the policies, for example, we are always giving importance to only public sector usually. We have never given so much focus, we have never given so much importance to your private sector. But after, for example, 40 or 50 years, for example, 40 years upon the independence, for example, we have seen that public sector is not being performing largely. Private sector we are neglecting. That is why we have decided to give enough importance to private sector in the policy of 1991. 50% of the public sector are running with losses or running with some issues, for example, before 1991. That is why Government of India decided to hand over the public sector somehow or partly or fully to private sector. Realizing the need of giving or hand over the public sector to private sector is the meaning of privatization. So we can say privatization is a process, for example. It is a process of transfer of ownership. It is a process of change of ownership, management, and control from public to private sector is known as privatization. It is simply a transfer of ownership, management, control from public to private sector is known as the policy of privatization. It is because we have seen in last 40 years, public sector is not performing up to the mark. Whatever the policies we have implemented, industrial policies, 1948, 1956, 1977, we have seen a bad performance of the government sector. We have seen a bad performance of the public sector. That is why now Government of India in the new economic policy 1991 now want to change the mode of operation. Now they want to give more freedom to private sector. So the process of transfer, the process of conversion of ownership, management and control to, for example, private sector is known as the process of privatization. This is the actual concept of privatization, and this is one of the important feature of new economic policy apart from liberalization and globalization. As I told you earlier, liberalization, privatization and globalization are the three basic features of new economic policy, and privatization is one among them above all, and government of India realized that privatization also can go a long way to have a major boost to our economic reform. That is why government of India, for example, introduced the policy of privatization in the year 1991, apart from the policy of liberalization and globalization, for example. As I told you, the meaning of privatization, the need of privatization, you have to understand the 2 points. We need the privatization because before 1991, public sector performance is very negligible. Public sector performance was very bad, and we are not giving enough importance to private sector. That is why we are now want to give more freedom to private sector. This is the basic concept of privatization. If we go to discuss the concept further, we will have a detailed discussion under the features of privatization. Features you can write, or you can say steps, for example. Steps, features or measures of privatization. 1991 policy, when we told that we are going to implement the policy of privatization, then we should understand what are the steps, what are the measures, what are the ways through which government want to make it privatization, for example. If we go for the first point, for example, then the first point comes reducing the role of public sector. Before 1991, let me tell you, various industries are being reserved. Various industries are purely, exclusively reserved for only government sector. Now, in 1991 economic policy, government only want to reserve 2 industries for government sector. Now, 2 industries are exclusively reserved for public sector. I am repeating once again the points. Only 2 industries are exclusively reserved for public sector, and the 2 industries are, one is your Indian Railways, and second point is that atomic energy. These 2 industries are only exclusively, entirely reserved for public sector. All the industries are being left to a private sector. This is the first point you should understand. How much focus, how much importance government of India is providing to private sector. Only 2 industries are now reserved in the domain of public sector. Only 2 industries are purely belong to the category of public sector. All other industries are being left to private sector. So we have seen that government of India have now reduced the role of public sector to only 2 industries, for example. When you come to second point, for example, we can write share transfer, or you can say sale of share, for example. Government can make a public sector, government can transfer public sector to private in 2 ways. If government of India wants, it can fully transfer to private sector. If government of India wants, it can partially also transfer public domain to a private sector. So this is the way that we can say that share transfer or sale of share, for example, government of India decided up to 70% of the share public sector can be sold to private sector or to mutual funds or public up to 70%, 4%, for example. 74% of the government sector, government domain can be sold to private sector or to mutual funds or to public, for example. In some cases, for example, we can see the government of India also authorized to sell 100% of the share of the public sector to private sector. This is one more way to transfer the sector, to transfer the resource of the government to the private sector. Nothing. To explain it further, we are discussing about the measures of privatization. We can explain regarding next point. For example, we can write rehabilitation of sick PSU. Let us very clear about the point sick PSU. Public sector undertakings are those undertakings. Sick PSUs are those PSUs which are running with continuous losses, for example. So, there is a board constituted by the government of India, for example, for that rehabilitation scheme, for example. The board will examine which PSUs are running with profits, which PSUs are running with losses, which public sector undertakings are running with viable losses, for example. There was a board. New economic policy suggested to go for a board. The board will be constituted, for example, to examine the operation of various PSU, and it will categorically decide which PSUs are running with profit, which PSUs are running with minimum losses, which PSUs are running with huge losses, for example. After categorization, after classification, for example, there will be the public sector units, the public sector undertakings which are running with which are running with losses. They will be classified as sick public sector units, undertakings, and they will be handed over to private sector. It may be fully or it may be partly. I am repeating once again the point. After examining the operation of the public sector undertakings, for example, the board will suggest, for example, the PSU which are running with losses. So the public sector units, the public sector undertakings which are running with losses, they will be categorized, they will be termed as sick public sector undertakings, for example. And after the board's recommendation, the list of PSU, the list of public sector undertakings which are running with loss, they may be partly or completely handed over to private sector for their better performance, for example. So this is a welcome step under new economic policy, for example. Not only it is making the provision for the performance of the existing public sector units, but also it is making the provision for the PSU which are running with heavy losses, for example. This is the one more point for under the policy of privatization, for example, we can say, for example. Coming down to next point, for example, we can say that MOU. Memorandum of Understanding. Now, regarding this point, for example, we can say Memorandum of Understanding, for example. This is a understanding, this is an agreement between Government of India and PSU, for example. Let us be clear about the fundamentals. Memorandum of Understanding, which is a part of the privatization policy, it is an agreement between, it is a negotiation between Government of India and public sector undertaking, regarding the performance of public sector units, regarding the performance of the public sector enterprises, for example. So under memorandum of understanding, for example, their performance will be evaluated continuously. For example, the PSUs will be the performance will be evaluated. It is estimated that the number of public sector undertakings, for example, the number of PSU that is being registered under MOU is 215, for example, in 1991. I am repeating once again, memorandum of understanding is an agreement between Government of India and different public sector undertakings. The agreement is being basically done. The agreement is basically have a sole purpose to improve the performance of existing public sector units. As per the data, as per the statistics we are having now, in 1991, for example, the number of PSU that is being registered under memorandum of understanding, it is 200, for example. It is 71 in 1991, which has been jumped to 215 in 2015 and 16, for example, we can say. I am repeating once again, for example, the data which I am giving, that the number of PSU that is being registered under memorandum of understanding is 71 in 1991, but it is being jumped to 215 to 16. It is jumped to 215 in 2015 and 16. This is one more point, for example, after the implementation of this clause, after the implementation of this feature, for example, now, for example, 77% of PSU have improved their performance level, for example. I am repeating once again the point. Memorandum of understanding is an agreement between Government of India and PSU. After signing the agreement, for example, most of the PSU have improved their performance, and it is being estimated that now 77% of PSU, public sector undertakings, have improved their performance after the implementation of new economic policy. Coming down to next point, for example, we can say National Renewal Funds, for example. There is a separate fund constituted under new economic policy for the category of privatization, that is called National Renewal Fund. A separate fund has been constituted, for example. The fund has two purposes, for example. It will work for the benefit of the existing employees of public sector units, for example, public sector undertakings. I am repeating, National Renewal Fund will coach the benefit of the employees working under public sector undertakings, for example. Under this scheme, for example, many more employees are being given VRS, for example, voluntary retirement scheme they are given. Many employees, for example, they taken their voluntary employments after the implementation of National Renewal Fund, for example. And the fund which is being collected under the head of National Renewal Fund, it will be used for the benefit of social security measures. It will be used for the step towards providing social security benefit for the employees working under public sector undertakings, for example. I am repeating once again, National Renewal Fund. This is the fund meant to provide the benefit to the employees of existing public sector undertakings. And we can write, for example, after the creation of National Renewal Fund, for example, the fund, the finance which has come to National Renewal Fund, for example, it is basically used for providing different social security services, different social security measures for the employees who are working in public sector undertaking, for example. This is the point for also privatization. To explain it further, When you go to other features of privatization, for example, we can write increase of share of investment in 5-year plans. In the beginning, as I have told earlier, for example, right from independence, starting from independence, we are focusing on public sector rather than focusing on private sector. We are always giving importance to only public sector, although public sector has been giving us a dismal performance, for example. It is performing badly, but still we are investing much and much. Still we are focusing more and more on public sector. As we notice, for example, we have been implementing different 5-year plans from 1951. We have started 5-year plans in 1951. We have gone for first 5-year plan in 1951. Then we go for 56 second 5-year plan. Then we go for the third 5-year plan in 1961. Whatever the 5-year plans we have implemented, for example, right from starting, we have given much importance to only public sector. We will be very clear, for example, after 1991 economic policy, we are giving much importance to your private sector, because now we are transforming, now we are converting the resources, the sector from public to private sector. In practical, for example, you will see the statistics, for example, regarding 5-year plans, for example. I am just giving you some idea regarding 5-year plans. In 5-year plans, for example, government plans something, government targets something, government distribute the portfolio of investment, government has to make expenditure in different fields, government has to make expenditure in agriculture, government has to make expenditure in industry, government has to make expenditure for education, government has to make expenditure for agriculture. So regarding that, for example, most probably, for example, 42%, for example, government has been making investment 42% in private sector in, for example, 5th 5-year plan, for example. The share of investment in private sector, the share of investment in private sector was 42% in 5th 5-year plan. It has suddenly jumped, for example, that it has been suddenly jumped to 78% in 11th 5-year plan, for example. After the implementation of new economic policy, after the introduction of new economic policy, the share of investment of private sector under 5-year plans, I am repeating, under 5-year plans, it has been increased from 42% in 5th 5-year plan to 78% in 11th 5-year plans. This is the practical point to understand how much focus, how much importance we are now giving to private sector after the implementation of new economic policy 1991. Going to last point, for example, if we focus on the last point, we can say last but not least, one of the important feature, one of the important step towards privatization is your withdrawal of convertibility clause. This is the important point for you to understand. Withdrawal of convertibility clause under new economic policy. What is the meaning of convertibility clause, for example? Let us first understand what is the meaning of convertibility clause, for example. Government of India, government has the right to take over any company or in private company, for example, if it failed to repay the loan which is being taken previously. Government is the right, government is the sole authority to take over the segment, the private sector, which has taken the loan from government but failed to repay the loan. But under new economic policy, for example, government cannot take over the private sector which is failed to repay the loan. Before 1991, the system was there. Government can take over. Government can take over, for example, over the private sector, which has taken the loan from the market which has failed to repay the loan. But after 1991 economic policy, the clause has been itself removed, and government, for example, cannot take over the private sector which has failed to repay the loan. It is a big step towards we are making the policy of privatization. Is this point proves that government is giving scope to private sector, for example. Not only government is expanding the scope here, not only government is expanding the scope of private sector by transferring the share, by selling the share of public to private, but also government is providing some incentive to private sector, those who are performing badly, for example, so that in coming days, for example, they can perform better. I am repeating once again the point. For example, as per the convertibility clause, government of India or government is being authorized, being empowered to take over the private sector which has been failed to repay the loan which has been taken for the running or the operation of the industry. But under the new economic policy, for example, government cannot take over the industry or the private sector which has failed to repay the loan. So these are the points, these are the steps, these are the measures which are being implemented in 1991 as a step toward privatization. If we analyze the entire concept of privatization, to my mind some benefits, to my mind some demerits are also coming. I am just giving a little bit idea about that merits and demerits. Merits and demerits of privatization. To explaining the merits of privatization, due to privatization, for example, we have increased the competition among different industries, which we are unable to do before 1991. So we can say 1991 economic policy have given the scope for competition among different industries. For example, we can say competition is one of the benefit that has largely come due to the implementation of policy of new economic policy. Coming to next, for example, due to the implementation of new economic policy as a step towards privatization, political interference is being minimized. Nowadays, for example, political interference is not being so much. Before 1991, there is so much involvement of political things are there. But after 1991, for example, political interference is being minimized, for example, which is a great signal, which is a good signal for running the industries. For example, I told you it increased the competition, there is a minimum political interference, and it will also increase the productivity and efficiency of the economy. Due to privatization, we hope, and we have already seen that it will increase the productivity and efficiency of the economy. It is because we can say the existing private sector units are running with successfully, they are running with much profits in comparison to public sector units. That is why we hope that after the implementation of the policy of privatization, it will definitely increase the productivity, the efficiency of the economic system, for example. So we have noted 3 to 4 points of regarding the benefits that we will get due to privatization. And if you go for disadvantage, for example, we can say privatization will lead to pure profit motive. Privatization will always have a scope for pure profit motive, which is a part of capitalist economy. We have already seen that capitalist countries like America, they have the scope of profit motive. So we can see that privatization giving scope to private entrepreneurs will move our economic system towards a profit motive. And also I would like to tell you that there is a huge inequality of income and wealth due to the policy of privatization. There is much possibility is that the persons, the corporates, for example, who are taking the lead, they will be benefited much in comparison to common man, for example. Common man will be going nowhere due to the policy of privatization. That will lead to huge inequality of income and wealth between the rich and the poor. Not only it will create the atmosphere of inequality of income and wealth between rich and poor, but also it will lead to regional inequality in terms of industrial development. For example, people, corporates, private individuals, private entities, they will not be showing much interest, for example, for the development of the industrial part, for the development of industrial sector in the backward and the remote areas, because making development of industrial in remote and backward areas, for example, they will not get ample opportunities, they will not get ample profit, which is their main motto. So we can say the policy of privatization will not only create the inequality of income and wealth, but also create the inequality among different localities or among different regions. So we are just concluding our point regarding privatization. We discussed about different policy implementations of privatization. I have also analyzed some of the benefits and demerits of privatization. So we can say this is the major step towards new economic policy, that is the policy of privatization implemented in the year 1991.